I'd like to do one more word problem to show you there's not limited to velocity. It could be pretty much anything, any type of problem. So I'm actually going to just make it up on the spot. Let's say we had, I'm wondering what is the number of butterflies that are in G-land. So it turns out that the number of butterflies in G-land since let's say n years after 1990 is represented by B of n, so the number of butterflies is going to depend on the number of years, n years after 1990. I actually did this study myself, so this is really true. This equation actually works, and it is 4n squared minus 2n plus 6. That is the number of butterflies that actually were in G-land. I counted them. All right. So let's just do a couple examples before we even start, just so that we understand it. In 1990, so let's say the word problem says, how many butterflies were there in 1990? So in 1990, well, that's 0 years after 1990. That's actually 1990. So we're actually talking B of 0, and that's going to be 4 times 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 6. So it looks like in 1990, you can say, therefore, in 1990, G-land had 6 butterflies. But trust me, they were very, very nice looking butterflies. They were good butterflies. What about this year? How many will be in G-land this year? Right? So now we're going to say, I'm going to erase this now, so take a look. B of 0 equals 4 times 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 6. So B of 0 ends up being 6. In 1990, G-land had 6 butterflies. I'm going to change the question. How many butterflies are there now in 2012? Well, 2012, now do not enter 2012 into here, because remember, n is the number of years after 1990. 2012 is only 22 years later. So B of 22 is actually what we're looking for. And that's going to be 4 times 22 squared minus 2 times 22 plus 6. And of course I pick a number that's going to be hard to do. It'll be 4 times 484 minus 44 plus 6. That's going to be 1600, another 320, so 1920, another 16, 1936. Minus 44 plus 6. Looks like we're going to be down to 1890. How much did I go down? Sorry, 36. Down an extra 1898. All right, so that means actually, therefore, this year, there are 1,898 butterflies. Well, that's good news, because the population is growing quite a lot. What if I wanted to know how much did it grow from the beginning until now? So from 1990 until now. On average, how many butterflies per year? Now keep in mind, it's not going to be the same number every year, but on average, what is that? Well, we know from our math, let me give you a couple seconds to look this over. Actually, you will. Okay, hopefully that helps. I guess you could always just pause it. Alright, so another way of asking this question, another thing I could have asked is, what was the rate of change of the number of butterflies from 1990 to 2012. Now, how do we know whether to use instantaneous rate of change or average rate of change? Well, when I look at this, I'm given two dates. Right away, average rate of change is the thing we use two dates from. I want to go from here to there. Average rate of change. If I had just said, what is the rate of change in the year 1998, and I didn't give you another year, then that's a pretty big hint that now the instantaneous rate of change is what we're going to use. But in this case, we're going from 1990 to 2012. We are going to use the average rate of change. Average rate of change is very simple. Delta y over delta x. So the average rate of change, let's just call that AROC, in this case equals delta y. So b of 22 minus b of 0. B of 22 is for the year 2012. It's 22 years after 1990. B of 0 is for the year 1990 over 22 minus 0. And I actually forget what B of 22 is. I think it ended up being 16, 22, 44 times 4. It was like 1598, I believe. No, that's not right. 1898? 1898 minus B of 0, which was just 6, all over 22. And I'm actually going to grab a calculator. I don't want to do this wrong for you. So 22 squared times 4 minus 4 plus 6. So it was 1898 minus 6. And then we're going to divide that by 20. Oops. We'll divide that by 20. Divide that by 22. And you get 86. Exactly. That's, unless this calculator is doing some type of rounding, we'll just call this 86. I've never used this calculator, so maybe it's just rounding to the nearest one. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So on average, the butterflies are going up 86 per year.